Welcome to Business Law. I'm Paul Sugden.
I'm Andrew Coleman.
And we're here to tell you why you study law in business.
Why?
Because you can get horrible problems. Because things go horribly wrong.
Okay.
How?
This is the video, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah. So, look at this. Accountants beware. As you can see from these basic statistics, things have gone disastrously wrong for Enron, the firm that we showed you in the DVD. What we've got now is the interesting thing that Enron was one of the top 500 companies and was literally in 2001 one of the top 13 companies by its turnover and by its market valuation. What happened though is that, as they said, in 24 days it went bankrupt, and it went bankrupt because of spurious accounting.
Right, so it wasn't actually Enron itself that was at fault, it was just their accountants?
No, it was worse. It was Enron, its lawyers and its accountants had kept on saying that this creative accounting should be allowed and would make them more money. So what they did is they kept on every transaction, they put it at the future value in the present day on their books, saying this will be worth 300 million, even though it will take 10 years to get the 300 million.
Creative accounting.
Creative accounting. Oh. Nobody should ever tell accountants to be creative.
Okay, it's all right. So
the consequences,
yep.
Let's have a look at what happened though. It wasn't just to Enron. It went on to, accountants making snow. Can accountants make snow?
I don't really see the analogy.
Well, watch this little ad.
Okay.
And what we see from the ad, though, is that there were shredding of documents.
So they made snow by okay, now I get it.
So not only did they do creative accounting, but they actually tried to hide the documents and their mistakes by shredding the documents.
So I get that, and what you're saying is that they failed to take into account the consequences, and it went from earning $9.36 billion to what, a bankrupt company, or a bankrupt business. I get that.
And look at the consequences of a number of employees sacked.
Yeah, but look...
85,000 worldwide.
Yeah, I get that, but that's obvious. I mean, you don't need to study business law to realise that shredding documents is going to result in a conviction.
But let's have a look. Let's have a quick summary. What about the other people? Marketers. What about this?
You're right.
This is a fabulous ad, and as you can read, it says the Arthur Andersen partner was on his cell phone and said to his secretary, "Ship the Enron documents to the feds." But his secretary heard...
Ripped the Enron document to shreds. Okay, so this is clever, but that's just marketers. Come on, marketers, they make fun, they do stuff, That's fine.
Can you use someone else's disability to make a prominent issue about your company?
They did the wrong thing. Everyone knows Anderson ripped the documents up. So this is just fun and games. Who cares, right?
Interesting, but we will see. There are bounds that the law recognises on this, and we'll look at that through this course. So it's not just for the accountants or the lawyers or the business managers, it's also for the marketers.
Right.
So, big decisions.
Yeah.
Give big consequences. Damn big ramifications.
I get that. So, look, you still haven't convinced me. I mean, I get that Arthur Andersen has suffered a huge disaster because they did something which is so obvious you don't need a law degree. Okay, the ramifications are huge, but there were big warning signs. I mean, you don't need to be genius.
Well, in the court case that followed, they actually said, that you didn't need to be, even a first-year accountant could see that it was not going, the numbers didn't stack up. But, however, Does it have to be big consequences? Let's look at this. Do you like coffee, Andrew?
You know I like coffee. I have at least 10 cups of coffee today. I love premium, good quality stuff. None of this crappy...
Arabica beans and all the rest.
Well,
I
barista
know.
coffie, yep, I do.
Yes,
I do.
most academics need coffee as an intravenous substitute to wake up in the morning.
It's because the students are so boring.
Oh, you shouldn't be saying that. Now, let's get on
Was that a mistake?
Well, so, what have we got with our coffee issue? Let's have a look at what happened here. We have our favourite McDonald's.
I am a fan of McDonald's. You can see that I've had a few cheeseburgers in my life.
Saw their ad of the steaming cup of coffee. Well, what about Stella Liebeck?
What about Stella Liebeck?
Stella Liebeck, she had fun.
She loved coffee?
She drove down and wanted a coffee, and not only did she get a wonderful steaming cup of 190 degree Fahrenheit steaming coffee, she also got third-degree burns.
Oh, we've gone too far. Okay.
She got third-degree burns.
Well, that's pretty good value for money. I mean, you just don't get a cup of coffee. You get...
Because she actually dropped it on her lap and burnt herself in 2 seconds flat.
Well, look, she's an old lady. She's clumsy. It's her fault. I mean, why should McDonald's have to cop that on the chin? I mean, that's a bit unfair.
But they know and have known that coffee normally is served at 160 degrees Fahrenheit.
It does taste better at that temperature, but I mean, it's still hot.
Yeah, but it's not steaming hot.
Not steaming hot.
So, what's the issue with this is, should they be responsible? Should McDonald's be responsible?
Well, they must make like
Stella
a million...
sued them.
Hang on. They must make 1 million cups of coffee a day at McDonald's, right?
2 days.
So one person gets burnt. What's the big deal?
But McDonald's had 700 other people that had got burnt. So they knew their coffee was hot.
So they
had
a bit of prior knowledge.
Too hot.
They knew it was too hot.
So...
Well, hang on, those 700 people would have sued, right?
Some of them did. And
there was a bit of hush
Stella
money.
did.
Just quieten it out.
Yes, Stella did.
Payment
and she was suing
okay.
for $20,000 to pay her medical bills because she had been burnt. But what was the problem? What did their McDonald's have to pay?
Oh, so they got sued, and I'm guessing it was a big penalty, was it?
Okay, cost of 2 days of sales of coffee at that restaurant, which was $2.7 million.
So they got fined, they had to pay compensation of $2.7 million.
But admittedly, on appeal, it was reduced to $480,000.
Ooh, ouch.
But what's the cost of a cup of coffee?
Well, on McDonald's, $3 or something. But so, okay, I get that. But I mean, when you think about it, okay, small costs, I get that. But so the decision process is what I'm concerned about. I mean, it might only cost $3.50 it might cost the same amount of money for a single cup of coffee, regardless of the temperature it's served at. So effectively, it wouldn't cost them anything to reduce the temperature, would it?
No.
Well, they'd have to do some studies, but I don't think...
It's a minor adaptation on the machine to make it only go to a certain temperature.
So that would be easily resolved. It wouldn't be a huge problem. So I guess that must weigh up in someone's mind. If you're thinking about saying the risk of third-degree burns versus the effort it takes to minimise that, you would say, look, that's such a serious injury.
Of spilling coffee when you've got those takeaway lids.
Oh, they're pretty useless. Yeah.
So, small cost, large consequences. Not just what we've already seen of big consequences. Some of the small costs can lead to large consequences.
Yeah.
So, why do we study business law?
Yeah, I get it now.
Because every business decision has a legal consequence. And what we're going to see in this course...
Well, that's negligence is what Stella basically used, isn't it? Yeah,
she sued negligence.
Right.
But she could have also considered contract.
Because she bought a cup of coffee. Yep, get that.
But the damages wouldn't have been that much.
That's right, but it's like a verbal, she said give us a cup of coffee at the drive-through. That's still a contract, is it?
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
just checking. No, See?
And she could have also used the consumer protection provisions under our legislation.
Right.
If it had been in Australia.
Okay, business structures. Why is that?
Sue?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Does she sue the employee that served her the coffee, or the manager of the individual store? If it's a franchise, do they sue the franchisee, or do they sue McDonald's in?
Or do they sue the
US?
person who served the
That's what I
coffee?
said, the employee.
The employee.
Okay, so we work out.
We've got to look at those sorts of issues, and we've got to look at the director's duties of the person who actually runs the company and see whether they could be held liable for these personal injuries.
But if there's a company set up, the directors should be safe, shouldn't they?
Ideally, they should be. But this is why we study business law, because to be forewarned is forearmed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.